Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, is facing a new legal battle that is sure to capture attention both in the UK and around the world. After a tense and ongoing struggle over his security arrangements, Harry is set to appeal a controversial court decision regarding the removal of his government-funded protection. This latest legal confrontation reflects a broader and more complex struggle that Harry has been embroiled in ever since his decision, alongside his wife Meghan Markle, to step back from royal duties and relocate to the United States in 2020. At the heart of this new legal challenge is the withdrawal of Harry's security detail, which, according to him, places both him and his family in a vulnerable position whenever they visit the UK. Following his and Meghan's decision to step away from their roles as senior members of the royal family, the UK government made the decision to alter their security provisions. Instead of the comprehensive, taxpayer-funded protection that Harry had previously enjoyed as a working royal, he was given only a case-by-case security assessment. Harry's legal team is now arguing that this shift in policy is both unreasonable and insufficient to address the serious security threats he and his family face, especially given the heightened media scrutiny and occasional hostile attention they receive. In particular, Harry points to the constant attention from both traditional media outlets and social media platforms, where negative narratives about his life and decisions often dominate public discourse. The intense and sometimes vitriolic coverage creates, he believes, an environment that necessitates comprehensive security measures, rather than reactive, ad hoc provisions. The appeal, which is scheduled to take place at the London Court of Appeal, is a pivotal moment for Harry. If successful, it would reinstate the full security detail he argues is necessary for the protection of his family. For Harry, this legal battle is not just about personal safety. It is also about standing firm on the principle that public figures, especially those who have historically dedicated their lives to public service, should not be left exposed to real threats due to a shift in policy motivated by his departure from royal duties. However, the legal fight over Harry's security is not his first foray into the courts in recent years. In fact, he has found himself involved in numerous legal battles as he seeks to address perceived wrongs and reshape his public image. His earlier attempt to privately fund police protection in the UK, which he believed would be a reasonable solution, was met with firm opposition from the courts. The judge in that case emphasized that police protection cannot be bought, no matter the financial means of an individual, reinforcing the notion that security services funded by taxpayers should not be available for private purchase. This ruling highlighted the difficulty in balancing Harry's security concerns with the principle of equal access to public services, as well as the wider issue of resource allocation in public services. For Harry, these legal setbacks, particularly the rejection of his personal funding of security, have made his fight for protection even more pressing. His current appeal aims to push for a broader reconsideration of security provision for high-profile figures in a world where threats to public figures are increasingly difficult to predict or control. Beyond his security-related concerns, Harry has also been engaged in an ongoing battle with the media, which he believes has contributed to the harassment and negative press coverage he has faced. Over the years, the prince has become increasingly vocal about the damage caused by the media's often invasive approach to his private life. While he recently dropped a libel suit against the Daily Mail, his overall strategy in these legal challenges seems clear: to take action when necessary, but to avoid spreading himself too thin by pursuing every media outlet that publishes damaging stories. Despite withdrawing the libel case, Harry has seen considerable victories in other legal areas. His phone hacking case against the Daily Mirror in 2023, in which he won significant damages, exposed the unethical practices that some tabloid newspapers employ to acquire personal information. The case drew attention to the invasive nature of the press, particularly in how they often violated the privacy of public figures, and was seen as a landmark moment in the prince's continued efforts to challenge the media's tactics. Furthermore, earlier this year, Harry secured a public apology and a substantial financial settlement from Rupert Murdoch's UK tabloids, which had been implicated in publishing stories based on privacy violations. The settlement represented a win not only in terms of compensation, but also in restoring some dignity to Harry and his family by forcing these media outlets to publicly acknowledge their role in the smear campaigns and unlawful practices they had engaged in. Harry's ongoing fight against the press and the UK government illustrates his commitment to changing the status quo and advocating for stronger privacy protections for high-profile individuals. It is clear that he believes the existing systems, whether it's security protocols or media regulation, need to be re-examined and overhauled in light of the changing dynamics of public life and digital media. In doing so, he is challenging established norms and questioning how public resources should be allocated to protect those who have been subject to disproportionate media attention or targeted harassment. The stakes in Harry's current legal battle are not just personal, they are societal. His case raises profound questions about the balance between public interest, the freedom of the press, and the right to privacy and security. As a public figure, Harry has accepted a certain level of scrutiny, but his legal actions suggest that the protection of his family and their privacy must come first. This sets a precedent for other public figures who face similar challenges and could spark broader discussions about the responsibilities of the press, the limits of media freedom, and the role of the state in providing protection for individuals under intense public scrutiny. The outcome of Harry's appeal could have lasting consequences, not only for his own family but also for future cases involving public figures and their safety. It may also prompt a re-examination of how security provisions are made for former royals and other high-profile individuals. If the appeal is successful, it may not only guarantee better protection for Harry and his family, but also bring attention to the evolving nature of personal security in the digital age. In sum, Prince Harry's legal battles, from security to media intrusion, represent a larger struggle for privacy, fairness, and security in an era where public figures are increasingly vulnerable to the excesses of the press and online harassment. His determination to reshape the way society deals with these issues could have wide-ranging effects, ultimately influencing how we balance personal rights with the demands of a media